Yo, yo, yo. What's good, everybody? It is your boy Tony the Savant back again. Hold on one second. Let me get this thing set up here. Cause it's your boy's official show. I've been wanting to do this one for a minute. We still got the Tony the Savant show on YouTube. We still got the 101 Sports Show on Facebook. I'm currently cooking up a show right now. Probably gonna do a co-host kind of deal on Instagram. So we got another exclusive show coming on Instagram with the real MVP. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. This is where we get all the details out. You feel me? But nonetheless, welcome. Good morning. In fact, the real MVP. Should I make the real MVP the morning show? Because I've really been needing the morning show. I'm up early anyway, so um, why not? Right? Why not? Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to set up my big screen so I can get my talking points and we can get right to work. The boy forgot to make him some coffee, but nonetheless, on the fly with it today. We're gonna cover this LeBron James and JJ Reddick podcast today, y'all. I know if you ain't been living under a rock, you've heard about it. Uh, if you in the sports world like me, you probably watched it. And if you're not a bronze sexual, you probably didn't enjoy it. Let's keep it a buck, man. Uh, okay, hold on. Just make sure it's all good. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's get busy. So yeah, we're covering this new podcast that Michael Jordan, LeBron James, who could never be a Michael Jordan, and JJ Reddick, called Mind the Game. Now, me personally, I didn't enjoy it per se. All right, but I'm gonna say this because I'm very critical of LeBron James. You know, y'all been rocking with me. Y'all know I've developed a reputation as a LeBron James hater per se. But that, all in all, I didn't hate it, man. You know what I mean? I did not hate it. This is probably the most tolerable LeBron James has ever been for me outside of his first 7 years in Cleveland. Because uh, it wasn't until he left Cleveland that he really began to irritate me in a way. You know what I mean? Like not in a bad way, but just in a very irritable way. You know, like LeBron James, the things he would say, the moves he would make. It all initiated with that decision. And for me personally, as a former LeBron James fan, it was all downhill from there. But this interview or this podcast was the most tolerable I've seen LeBron James. I didn't mind him in this element. Okay. I don't mind LeBron James when he does that thing, his signature thing in interviews or in post game, conferences when he does you know, uh, I was on the block and D'Lo was on top, and then they sent me. We had a cut, and I remember the defender. Like he just runs down the plays, in his head. I don't mind that so much about LeBron James because I am one of those people that enjoy the the how can you say it, terminology. The proper terminology of the game. A lot of times people call different plays different things, as JJ Reddick has started the show and stated. But as a basketball player myself, somebody that's familiar with that language, I don't mind it so much. But here's the thing: typical NBA fans do mind it. Casuals don't understand that language, and I'm really I'm really interested to see what these bronzexuals do, how they react to this, because I mean, outside of the bronzexuals that I know uh, that actually play basketball, I haven't seen any LeBron James fans jumping off the page talking about they enjoyed this podcast, because I know in my head, in my heart, LeBron James fans are typically casuals. These dudes are uh, what do you call it, 2K players, and all they do all day is run pick and roll. If that, they might just ISO all day and go left and right and shoot threes. You know, they LeBron James fans, but they create little basketball players that play like Curry. The irony, but at the same time, uh, those guys don't understand the terminology. They don't appreciate the language or an actual play. And there's no knock on those dudes. It is, but it is, but it isn't, because you need your casuals. You know, let's just be frank. Uh, it's not a knock on those dudes, because when you actually have people that watch the game, so you dudes that watch the game and it's dudes that know the game. When you actually have dudes that watch the game and know the game, they're not just watching it. You're going to be able to appreciate the 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 floppy plays, as LeBron and JJ went over. You're going to appreciate the hooks and the horns. You know, all the cuts, the flipping of plays. And I'm just using the terminology that they used on the podcast. You're going to be able to do all of this stuff if you have a true appreciation of the game, if you have a true want for the knowledge of the game. All of this stuff is going to come to you, or you're going to garnish an interest to it. But like I said, bronzexuals, uh, I guess LeBron just don't know his audience. Bronzexuals do not have an appreciation for the game. They do not actually play basketball more times than not. From what I've experienced, all right. If y'all got different experiences out there, y'all please share them with me. From what I've experienced, the LeBron James fans do not, you know, they're not in the they not out there like that. You know, as far as actually playing basketball. And then when you go, if you do find a bronzexual that actually plays basketball, I say 8 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, they don't have a knowledge for the game. You know what I mean? They're just out there playing. But again, I just want to kind of give some pretext, because y'all know me. I like telling my stories. Uh, give some pretext as to, or as far as some pretext to what my opinion of the show is. Because me as a basketball fan, me as a basketball player, me as a person that has an interest in the terminology and the knowledge of the game, did not mind this show so much. But me as a sports journalist, me as a dude that has an ear to the YouTube streets, the basketball communities, I don't think this show was very good. It was highly boring. The energy was low, and it was very repetitive. Um, and this is what I'm saying. This as far as what I can speak for the casuals, because I speak to the casuals, if that makes sense. But the energy was just low. You know, you're talking about. I don't think anybody really anticipated this show being, you know, high energy, like a Gilbert Arenas podcast. I don't think anybody anticipated this show being that. But what this show came off to me it came off to me as a copy of Kobe Bryant's Detail. If y'all remember Kobe Bryant, soon there after his retirement, he got in a partnership with ESPN. I believe this is when the ESPN app first dropped, or ESPN Plus. And Kobe Bryant used to do exactly what LeBron James and JJ Reddick did, except Kobe would do it in a little bit more of a Kobe way. It would be a lot more entertaining. You know, Kobe would put himself in the actual player's shoes. The one particular one that I absolutely loved, and I think I watched it at least 2 or 3 times, was the one Kobe Bryant episode of Detail about Kevin Durant, when Kevin Durant had just came off of 2 championship runs, 2 NBA Finals MVPs, and Kevin Durant was at a point in his game Well, I guess Kobe Bryant was able to identify it, but he was just at a point in his game where he was kind of, levering out, if you will. And Kobe was making identifications and observations where he was saying, no. There's still some room for improvement for a two-time MVP, a two-time NBA, two-time Finals MVP. And so that's what that whole episode of detail around Kevin Durant was based around. How somebody had, how someone who had reached the pinnacle of his game, Kobe Bryant was still able to find ways to find improvements and then put himself in those shoes. So that's what the whole pretense of detail was about. As I'm watching LeBron James and JJ Reddick break down the plays, that starts coming into my head like, hold up. this I've seen this movie before, except when I seen it the first time, it was a lot more entertaining. And this isn't me coming at LeBron James or JJ Reddick, as I have shared my criticisms about these gentlemen in the past, left or right. This isn't my personal bias coming at them. This is a situation of originality. Okay, this is going to be a competition of. All right, guys. We know LeBron James knows the game. All right, nobody's sitting here. LeBron James isn't going to impress us by showing us that he knows these plays, right? But what comes after that? There's a certain level of entertainment. All right, when we hear LeBron James break down the plays, there should be a certain level of entertainment, a certain level of nuance, something that LeBron James adds to the game that nobody else was considering, like Kobe Bryant's details did. Like I said, when you get a guy like a Kevin Durant who has reached the top of the mountain, and it seems like there's nowhere else for Kevin Durant to go, it was very intriguing and interesting to see Kobe deep dive into Kevin Durant's game in that sense and manner. What I mean in that sense is when I'm saying it with LeBron and JJ Reddick is if you're just running plays that we see every day, or we see you do in the last game. And this is another thing that kind of irritates me, is that LeBron was kind of selfish with it. It's like, bro, he kind of highlighted some of his teammates. There's some of the other guys he's played with, but for the most part, he's just talking about the plays that he runs and what he can do and all this, that, and the third. Another reason why I enjoy details because Kobe Bryant would, excuse me, introduce other players. You know what I mean? Nobody, as much as we love Kobe, nobody wants to hear Kobe talk about Kobe all day. I think that's kind of like the same thing with LeBron. Nobody wants to hear LeBron talk about LeBron all day. Yo, D Hop, what's going on, my brother? We getting busy, man. Getting ready for our show. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to speak on it just yet, but I might as well do a plug. Me and D Hop, we will be starting our sports show very soon. Yeah. We're working in the behind the scenes right now, getting that ready for y'all. Just always working, man. You know what I'm saying? God gave us 24 hours, and I'm gonna work all 24. So, shout out to my boy D Hop. Y'all go subscribe to the show, to his channel, Darian Hopkins Sports Show, and be on the lookout for what me and my brother got cooking up for y'all. It's gonna be special. It's gonna be epic. We taking over. But yeah, like I was saying, getting into this podcast that LeBron James and JJ Reddick had going on. It just reminds me a lot of Kobe Bryant's detail. Uh, Now, like I say, as a LeBron James critic, as someone who has had his say so about, so I'll say this: I've had my criticisms about LeBron James. I did not hate this show. In fact, I will be tuning in for episode 2. My only concern is that they kind of keep the tempo of the show. I don't want LeBron James to turn this into another back rubbing event, because I used to watch his what's that, the barbershop show? I can't remember, Uninterrupted or something like that. I used to watch that, but I could not fully enjoy it, because every time you have somebody on the show, no matter if it was Jay-Z, no matter if it was Draymond Green, no matter if it was Michael B. Jordan, you know what I mean? Like, dude would have, it would be at some point in the show where these dudes are just, oh, LeBron, you so great. It's like a back rub. It's like, bro, I don't want to, you know what I mean? We got ESPN for that. You know what I mean? If I want to go hear a bunch of LeBron James compliments, I'll turn on ESPN. I tuned into his barbershop show because I figured it would be something like this, where LeBron James talks about aspects of the game that he doesn't always get the chance to talk about because, of course, between the media and social media, there's going to be just a lot of cap, a lot of biasness. But again, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this particular iteration of a podcast. My next set of commentary will be about the effects of LeBron James and JJ Reddick's being in the podcast world. Because now that you're in the podcast world, LeBron James, the gloves are off, brother. You know what I mean? When you're on ESPN, we have this sweet, sweet protection of lamestream media. And, as far as us guys on the ground level, the fans and YouTube, content creator guys, we can't really crack the ESPN shield, okay? Let's be honest. Right now, ESPN is not talking about the PED allegations. They're not talking about, Victor Conte or Jason Whitlock or none of them. None of these people or Kevin Garnett. They're not talking about anybody. Excuse me. Get you boys some water. They're not talking about anybody that's talking about the PED allegations. And sorry, y'all. They're not talking about anybody. Excuse me. And it's getting to the point where it just is what it is. You know what I mean? This PED allegation with LeBron James is going to be another thing that gets swept under the rug. Much like that Miami biogenesis lab, this story will come and go. I mean, outside of us YouTube guys who's gonna stay pressing on the story, the lamestream media is gonna act like this story never existed. And so when you enter the podcast world and you want to come down here on YouTube, LeBron James, now you're gonna really get a taste of what true criticism is. Because I honestly don't believe LeBron James has ever sat down with a person across from him that did not agree with everything he said. You know what I mean? It's like every lockstep, like JJ Reddick. Shout out to him, as knowledgeable as he is at the game. JJ Reddick did put in some time in the NBA and all that good stuff. JJ Reddick's just gonna say whatever. He's not gonna really hit LeBron James with any kind of criticism, any pushback. If LeBron James is quote unquote wrong, he's not going to sit there and make note of it. He's going to probably just go with the flow of it. And side note, let's go viral real quick. JJ Reddick had an opportunity to make this podcast bigger than Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams episode. This one episode could have surpassed that one episode easily if JJ Reddick would have started off the show with LeBron James. Let's talk about the PEDs, bro. Bro, you know how crazy the numbers would have been just on that clip alone? Like, we ain't even got to get to the episode. That clip alone. Because this clip's out here, Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp, that did bigger numbers than, not the actual video, but bigger numbers than some people's YouTubes. You know what I mean? Like clips. Just a couple sentences from the interview. But if JJ Reddick would have started off this interview with LeBron James, we finna get into the PED allegations. I promise you, this would have been the biggest podcast episode in history. Joe Rogan would have been an afterthought. The numbers he used to do would have been an afterthought. It would have been Shannon Sharp, JJ Reddick, and everybody else if he would have started off this interview as such. But of course, again, we're gonna get. I'm gonna say it like this: JJ Reddick is a player-friendly sports analyst. He's also a member of the Clutch Sports team. I don't know what that kind of organization they got going over there. You know what I mean? But anyway, he's a part of the Clutch Sports team. And also, I don't think he played with LeBron James, but definitely played in the LeBron James era. So he's going to have some biasness and some opinions that are friendly to his era, friendly to maybe not the hardcore basketball fans, but definitely the casuals fans. But again, this podcast could definitely be something nice. It could definitely be something special if it doesn't turn into another LeBron James back rub. Shout out to Carcino. You know what I mean? I definitely appreciate Big Bro's opinion on this. I'm not as hardcore on LeBron James as Cino is, as a lot of times people accuse me of being a LeBron James hater. I give LeBron James a lot of love, a lot of credit, because as a Chicago Bulls fan, you dig, as a Bulls fan, I noticed when LeBron James first came into the league that this kid was special. You know what I mean? He wasn't exactly our Michael Jordan. Yeah, he wasn't exactly my favorite player at that time, Kobe Bryant, but he has an element to his game that I liked. And the first 7 years of LeBron James' career, I rock with him. I say the first five, because around that fifth year is when he started acting funny. But first 4 years, definitely, I was a LeBron James fan. Um, for the most part, he didn't really do too much that annoyed me. You know what I mean? So he was just a kid back in those days. But nowadays, it's full-fledged on propaganda. It's full-fledged on manipulation. Like LeBron James now is totally to the total opposite of what he was when he first came into the league, in my opinion. As you know, like I said, I was a big fan of the kid. The man, or the man child, I should say, is just a series of embarrassments. And for you bronzexuals that say that all I do is talk about LeBron James, hold up, hold up. Like, no, all ESPN do is talk about LeBron James. Okay, let's get it correct. I got plenty of content where I'm talking about everything because I'm interested in all things sports. That's the only thing I'm really truly interested in. As music, movies, politics, none of that really garnished my attention for a large amount of time like sports can. So yes, I will talk about the Devin Haney, Tank Davis sagas. I will talk about Shohei Ohtani over there in the baseball world, as I just heard a story dropping around that. I will definitely talk about some other basketball topics like SGA being my um, top member. I mean, my top contender for MVP right now, even past Joker with his recent string of performances. Um, all of this stuff, man. All of this stuff that you LeBron James fans seemingly have no concerns with because y'all like to run around and just click on LeBron James videos. No matter who's the content creator, what I notice, I'll see some of the same dudes in my comment section going ham, over my LeBron James videos and other content creators that I enjoy personally, they have a LeBron James video criticizing LeBron. You see these same accounts, these same dudes, these same bots. I don't know what it be. You know what I mean? Sometimes I be feeling like it's actual dudes, and sometimes I be feeling like it's bots. Because who got that type of energy to be running around? It's almost automated. Like how you jump from my page to Carcito page to Ticket page, like these same haters, man. I'll see them. I'll definitely see them. So nonetheless, no, LeBron James is not the central figure of this particular sports stage. But I will state that he seems to keep himself in the news with the tomfoolery, the carfuffle, all this shenanigans. Like this is all LeBron James, bro. He keeps himself in the headlines. Um, and with this PED allegation, you know what I mean? I don't see him going away anytime soon. But it's not the kind of media that we have here in America, bronzexuals. The media in America is based on one thing, okay? They're going to build you up when it's profitable for them. And then when it's profitable for them to tear you down, they're going to tear you down. Yeah, you did. It's profitable for ESPN right now to tear down Michael Jordan. In 1994, 1995, it was unfathomable to hear the kind of stuff that they say about Michael Jordan now. Oh, he ain't got no left hand. Nobody in 94, 95 was saying that. I'm talking about the top ESPN, top sports analysts. Nobody would have dare say Michael Jordan didn't have a left hand or he couldn't go left. Because then Michael Jordan would go into the very next game and go left the whole game just to make a point. He would finish on you with his left hand the whole the whole game just to make a point. This is why nobody in the 90s provoked Michael Jordan the way people provoke LeBron James today. You dig? Like, nobody provoked Michael Jordan. Nobody would have said, we done with the 90s in 1995. Because Jordan would have immediately found that person and shut it all down. There's been several stories of Michael Jordan, some heckler in the crowd or some reporter writing a story, coming at him, and he's like, okay, Michael Jordan didn't immediately react to whatever was said. I recall a heckler in the crowd, talking about um, something. I mean, I remember it was in New York. I got a clip of it. I'm posting on my shorts. But it was a heckler talking about something about Michael Jordan or his shoes or something like that. Jordan didn't say nothing to the clown. What Jordan did, he went on. He proceeded to score like 15 straight points, and then he went over to the dude and told him to be quiet. You the reason why the Knicks down 10 points right now, and I had to score the last 15 because you like talking. That's what Michael Jordan would do. You feel me? So, uh, excuse me, I got on a bit of a rant. You know what I mean? Now I got to get back to this clown, LeBron James. But anyway, like I said, man, it's that podcast was not the worst thing I thought. I mean, I'm gonna say like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I honestly thought the podcast was going to be worse. As a fan of the game, it was decent. You know what I mean? I like the terminology. I like the although when you really know the game and you really break it down, shout out to Carcino for observing this because I thought so too. When they went into like the elaborate horns talk, I was like, all right, now they just trying to, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, they were just pretty much just talking about pick and roll the whole time. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff is based in pick and roll offense. What I would love to see LeBron James explain is playing off ball. Break down that part of the game, LeBron. I want to see LeBron James break down post game. You feel me? Hopefully this video gets to him because I'm not going to stop. I'm on the gas now. You know what I mean? We done went viral. Numbers is up. All that stuff. So I want LeBron James to explain post game offense. And while you're at it, next episode could be post game defense. This is stuff we never seen, or when we do see it from LeBron James, it's only for but a while and sparingly. I've seen LeBron James in the post. He might go into the post 4 or 5 times a game. You know what I mean? When it's 4 quarters, it's one time a quarter maybe, and then outside of that, he's right back to playing like he's Steph Curry or Kyrie. But I want to see LeBron James after that. I want him to see him break down defenses, period. Like, nigga, what happened in 2011? Why you mind the game so much, but you couldn't understand or you couldn't read that the Dallas Mavericks was playing you like just let them shoot. The Dallas Mavericks played you the exact same way the San Antonio Spurs played you 4 years prior in 2007, and you couldn't mind the game enough to notice that. Like, we noticed that watching it on our couches, but you didn't notice that as the quote unquote GOAT, the quote unquote king, the quote unquote guy that was flipping plays at 8 years old. Come on, man. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. It's getting out of hand. So besides that though, like I say, just the basics. Presentation of the show, I did not mind it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. You know what I mean? As far as a LeBron James critic, I did foresee that show being a little bit more annoying than it was. But I don't want to be a hard critic. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit here and make it seem like LeBron is the worst. I mean, he got his ways about him. But I like to think I've seen worse people than LeBron James in life. And so the show wasn't that bad. I will be tuned in for episode 2. What did y'all think about it, man? And I really wanted to use the first episode of the Real MVP to deep dive into that podcast. And then episode 2 of the Real MVP, man, we're gonna dive into it. Ain't gonna just be central around LeBron James in the podcast. I'm trying to break up, the content, the stuff that I want to talk about into different segments, different kind of presentations, because honestly, I could sit on the phone and talk sports all day, man. Honestly, I'm not no sports journalist that went to school for this. I got it out of the barbershops. I got it out of the mud. So I do truly enjoy sitting down and talking sports on a fundamental level. So I can sit here and talk all day and do it like that, but I want to kind of pre-portion the shows out. And so the Real MVP Part 2 or Episode 2 will be dropping. I'm trying to get that down either tonight or tomorrow. But outside of that, man, that's all I got for y'all on this one. Thank you for the pull up. If you don't mind, swing by the platforms, Instagram, Tony the Savant, Twitter, or X, whichever one makes you more comfortable. Tony the Savant on Facebook. That's the headquarters, Tony the Savant, THEE. And then, of course, right here on YouTube, the house, the crib, where we dropped all of the clips, all of the stories, all of the headlines, all of the pre-recordeds, all of the lives. Yes, YouTube is the home and the hub. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Thank you for pulling up to the Real MVP Episode 1. Y'all have a great day, man. Get a goal accomplished. You know my slogan. Y'all the bosses. I'm the only one that can get the job done. Let me get back to work. Peace.